in live in 10 seconds. You may start, Fabiola.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our final session. It's a true pleasure to be with you today as the moderator of this final session. I'm honored to guide through to a presentation that dives into one of the most exciting and timely topics in the field of education and technology. Today's talk explores the evolving role of artificial intelligence and digital human design in education, an area that is redefining how learners engage with content, with instructors, and even with virtual agents. So it is now my great honor to introduce you to our distinguished guest speaker, that Dr. Danny Glick. Dr. Glick is a leading expert in K-20 EdTech research and implementation, with more than 20 years of experience designing and evaluating innovative technology-enhanced learning solutions. I'm sorry. She currently serves as Chief Learning Officer at Sing It, a music-based English language learning app that combines engaging content with research-driven methods and continuous feedback. He also serves as Academic Director at H, a leading edtech startup accelerator. There he leads cutting-edge research on emerging technologies, including AI-powered tutor bots and virtual humans. His recent work has explored the design of AI-powered learning companions and their impact on students' self-regulated learning in higher education institutions across Asia and the US. He's the editor of the volume supporting self-regulated learning and student success in online courses, and he guest edited a special issue in Frontiers in Education focused on emerging technologies and self-regulated learning. Dr. Glick has also previously worked with EduSoft, a subsidiary of ETS, where he led large-scale initiatives across more than 30 countries. He has also served as a visiting scholar at the University of California, Irvine's Digital Learning Lab, where he studied the impact of technology-mediated language learning on academic achievement in developing countries. He's also the host of the podcast Dancing with the Machine, which explored the intersection of education, technology, and innovation. Today, he will present on the topic AI and digital humans, key considerations in bot and AI agent design. So please join me in a warmly welcoming to Dr. Danny Glick.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Fabiola, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. I know that these past few days have been very intense, very productive, very engaging. So thank you very much for joining me. So I'm now going to share my screen. So just hold on a sec. I'm going to share my screen, share screen. Yes, so I am using the official conference presentation template. Can everyone see my screen? Can everyone hear me okay? Thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. All right, so let's get started. In this talk, we're going to discuss some key considerations in AI agent design. I will try to keep this session as interactive as possible, as engaging as possible. I'm going to be asking you some questions. I'm going to encourage you to share your thoughts and ideas in the chat tool. So, the session will be as interactive as possible. So we're going to talk about AI and AI agents or bots. These past few years, I've been working very closely with a number of universities in Latin America, in North America, designing some virtual humans, some virtual bots. And I'm going to share with you some of the findings, some of the design principles for designing effective virtual humans. So my first question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is virtual humans or AI bots or AI agents, who wants to try and define, who can define for us this term or this concept? What is an AI agent in education? Or what is an AI agent or a virtual human? Who can try and define or try and, explain in his or her own words this term AI agent or a chatbot or a virtual human? How would you define this term in your own words? You can type your answer in the chat tool or unmute yourself. What is your definition? How would you define an AI chatbot? You can type your answer in the chat tool or unmute yourself or raise your hand if you want to ask or share your thoughts. What is the definition? How would you define this term, an AI chatbot or a virtual human, in education or in general? All right, so I'll give you 20 seconds to think about a definition of AI chatbots or an AI agents. All right, so let's see. Okay, Maritza, a resource we have to facilitate and better our learning process. Thank you. Source of information, tech support resource. Okay, what else? Other ideas, other suggestions? Jenny, it is a tool that can interact with you and provide human-like answers. Exactly. Thank you, Jenny. It can interact with you to provide answers. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. A tool you can interact with. It provides answer, information. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much for sharing your ideas. A virtual assistant. Absolutely. A virtual assistant. So on your screen, let's see, we're still getting some responses. Jenny, it is a tool that can interact with you, provides answers. Absolutely. Carmen, a computer-generated character. Paul, it takes the place of the human. That is correct, such as when you go to Google to ask for a definition. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Paul. So on your screen is a definition of AI agents in education. So these are intelligent digital tools or virtual humans or chatbots that support learners, support teachers, support educators by simulating aspects of human teaching, okay? They provide feedback, they answer questions, they motivate the learners, they support students, they can also support teachers as well. All right, so they support teachers, they support the teaching process, the learning process, and they adapt to the learner's needs and to teachers' needs in real time. In other words, these tools, these digital tools can be adapted, right, to reflect the teacher's needs or the student's needs. Let's see, we're getting more, let's see. Yes, it's an AI tool. That is correct. Teacher assistant to support and improve education experience. Absolutely. Absolutely. So can you think of examples, any examples from everyday life? Where do we see, when and where do we interact with those tools? Probably most of you interact with those tools on a daily basis, on a regular basis. When do we interact with those tools? How often do we interact with those tools? Where do we find those tools? Okay, so virtual tutor, searching for information, absolutely. Search engines, yes, search engines. Preparing my class, Teresa, when preparing your class, we can interact with those tools. So yeah, for example, many of us are using those voice-activated virtual assistants, right? Many of us are using virtual assistants such as Siri or Alexa, right, that can answer questions. right? So if you're driving your car, you have a virtual assistant next to you, right? You ask Alexa or Siri to play your favorite song or your favorite music, okay? Or for example, you're visiting a friend in a new town or in a place where you haven't been to before. You ask Alexa or Siri to, direct you to, let's say, the best restaurant in town, okay? Or the best, tourist attraction in town. So this is a virtual assistant that can answer questions. ChatGPT as well, a conversational agent, as well as custom service chatbots, right? If you go to, airline banking websites, right, you will find this chatbot where you interact with the chatbot. You can interact with this tool in order to find information about, attractions, about booking, about, canceling flights, canceling reservations. All right. So chatbots that can help users find information, book tickets, or maybe cancel reservations. Gemini, absolutely. Google Maps, absolutely. So these are all great examples of when and how we can use chatbots, chat tools, agents, AI agents in everyday life. So can we think of, let's talk more specifically about the language development and the English language classrooms. How can AI agents support the English language classroom or English language teachers and students? How would you use, or how have you used, if you already used AI agents or chat tools or AI in the classroom in order to support your learners? How can we use AI chat tools, AI chat bots in the English language classroom to support learners and teachers? Voice recognition, absolutely. You can interact with an AI-powered voice recognition tool, right, which will automatically evaluate your students' speaking pronunciation and will also evaluate or provide feedback. So speech recognition and speaking practice, absolutely. What else? Practice writing, yes. We can use AI-powered tools and agents to help students develop their writing, yes. Speaking and productive skills, grammar as well. To help students practice the reading, yes. So basically, it can help students practice and develop all language skills, all 4 skills, grammar, vocabulary as well. It can automatically evaluate students' assignment. It can give feedback. It provides personalized feedback, which is wonderful. So it can reduce teachers' workload. And it frees up the teacher. It frees up the teacher to spend more one-on-one time with struggling students. Many teachers are concerned about, the future of education, especially in the age of AI. Many teachers are concerned, have some concerns about the role of the teacher in the age of AI, in this age of, artificial intelligence. And teachers have concerns, growing concerns as to the role of the teacher in this age of AI. So what I keep telling teachers is that teachers will not be replaced by AI. Teachers will not be replaced by technology. However, teachers who are not using technology will be replaced by teachers who are. In other words, if you're not using technology, sooner or later, you will be left behind. In other words, you should start using technology. We should all be using technology. Otherwise, we will find ourselves, we will be left behind. So yes, absolutely. We can use AI agent to support vocabulary acquisition, writing assistance, speaking practice, personalized feedback, also to grade assignments, also to review students' assignments. Again, not to replace us teachers, not to replace us, the teachers in evaluating the assignments. We can use this as a co-pilot. I like this term, a co-pilot. We're always, we're in the pilot seat. The teacher should always be in the pilot seat, right? The AI is here to assist us, to make things more efficient, faster, more effective, but the AI is not in control. The AI is not in control. We're in control. The AI is here sitting next to us, the co-pilot, to make things more effective, more efficient, faster, but we are in control. We are the pilots, the AI is the co-pilot. Okay, fantastic. So why should teachers embrace, why should we all embrace AI agents? What are the benefits of AI for students, for teachers? Why should we all be using those AI agents? What are the benefits? What are the benefits of those AI agents for teachers and students? Why should we all embrace those AI agents? Okay. Yes, co-pilot is a great term. So why should we embrace AI agents? First of all, it is part of the world our students live in, right? Our students spend their entire day in front of a screen, a computer screen, a tablet, a phone. So this is the world our students live in. Secondly, it makes learning more personalized. It makes learning more personalized, more engaging. It also encourages student autonomy. It encourages student autonomy. And it is also a great tool for learners, right, with varying proficiency levels. In other words, if you teach a mixed ability group, all right, if you have a mixed ability group, you can use these AI agents to provide personalized feedback to students, personalized instruction, all right? So it can make learning more personalized, more adaptive. Okay, let's see. Students can practice at home. Absolutely. They love digital technology. Yes, they all love digital technology. Now, a growing concern that teachers have is assessment. How should we assess students in the age of AI? We know that students are using AI. They are using and they should continue using AI, right? Now, the question is, how should students be assessed in this age of AI, right? If they're all using AI tools, then who are we assessing? Are we assessing the students' work or the AI work? Okay, so how do you think we should be assessing our students in the age of AI? For example, when they're submitting a writing assignment, when they're submitting an essay, how should we grade? How should we mark those assignments? What should be our focus when, assigning or when reviewing writing assignments in this age of AI? Like I said, there is a growing concern among teachers regarding how teachers should be assessing students' writing assignments or any assignments, even projects. Okay, should we be focusing only on the final product, on the end results? Should we be focusing on the process? Is it summative assessment, formative assessment, a bit of both? How should we be assessing our students in the age of AI? Any ideas, any suggestions? Assessing students in the age of AI is an issue that we teachers, educators are facing, right? We know that students are using AI to complete their assignments. So how should we be assessing them? Who are we grading? Are we grading the students? Are we grading the AI tool? Okay, Paul, the written work needs to be written in class in front of the teacher to avoid plagiarism. Absolutely, it needs to be written in class to avoid plagiarism. This is one strategy. Other strategies you can think of. We should be shifting our focus from evaluating the final product, summative assessment. We should be shifting our focus to formative assessment, right? And we should ask our students to defend. Students need to defend their work. Students need to defend their projects. In other words, every couple of weeks, every couple of months, right? Students should be asked to explain how their work was collected, which tools they've used in order to collect or to write their work, okay? How often they use AI tools, which AI tools they've used. They need to be able to demonstrate understanding, right, of the project. It's not just a matter of, submitting a final product, right? It's a matter of demonstrating understanding of every single step along the way. In other words, how did you, for example, which resources did you use in order to collect data? How did you analyze? How did you go about, writing the introduction? How did you go about writing your conclusion? All right. In other words, students should be able to explain, to defend right? And to provide justification. Secondly, another strategy is think aloud protocols or think aloud journals. While writing or while working on their project, students can also write a journal, right? A think aloud journal where basically they reflect on the writing process, right? Areas that they were struggling with, areas that they enjoy doing, areas that they found challenging, and this should be submitted together with the final product. Right, a journal submitted together with the final product. So we should be shifting our focus from summative assessment to formative assessment. All right, let's continue. We're now moving on to the next slide about a live demo of Jorge. We've partnered with the University of Pennsylvania, which is a university in the US, one of the top universities in the US. And with Colombo Americano. Colombo Americano is one of the largest, most prestigious institutions in Colombia. It's an English language institute. So we've partnered with these two partners, University of Pennsylvania in the US and Colombo Americano. And together with those two partners, we developed Jorge. Jorge is an AI agent, a Spanish-speaking AI teaching assistant. His job, his role is to help Spanish-speaking learners, Spanish-speaking students improve their English writing. How? By explaining mistakes in Spanish, by providing simple examples, and by encouraging revision. I'm now going to log into this AI teaching assistant. Okay, I'm now going to log into this AI teaching assistant, which is right here. Okay, I'm now going to log in. Let's see if we can log in. I'm going to start a discussion. Okay, and write a post. I'm going to be like, let's say, a low beginner, an entry-level Spanish-speaking student who's studying English in Colombia, describing their daily routine. Okay, describing their daily routine. Let's say Maria's or Maria's daily routine. Okay, this will be Maria's daily routine. Okay. Oh, sorry, or Lucia. Okay, Lucia's daily routine. Right, so this is a short paragraph written by a Spanish-speaking student, Lucia, right, with some grammar mistakes, some spelling mistakes. I'm Lucia, I wake up at 6:30 and I dress me. I take my breakfast, okay, and go to school at 7:30. The classes start at 8 o'clock. After I go to house and take my lunch, okay. At 2 in the afternoon, I do the homeworks and I see TV. In the night, I take a dinner, I shower me and go to bed at 9:30. Okay, just hold on a sec. Let me, oops, sorry about that. Okay, so where is start a discussion, daily routine. Yes, daily routine. Okay, let's do start a discussion. All right. So I'm Lucia. Sorry about that. I'm Lucia. Okay. Okay. Post. Okay. So just hold on a sec. This is when the AI tool is thinking. Wonderful. So this is Lucia's post, right? A student, a Latin American student who posted the message in, and this is the feedback, the automated feedback, right? Provided or generated by the tool. Okay. Well, I'm not a Spanish speaker, so I'm not going to read the comments or the feedback. But what I would like you to do, I would like you to quickly read the tool's feedback on Lucia's writing assignments. And I would like you to share with me your thoughts. What do you think about the comments that are provided or generated by the tool? What do you like about the comments, or what would you do differently? Okay, so I would like you to share your thoughts with us via chat tool about what elements or aspects about the tool you find interesting, you find effective in terms of the, I don't know, in terms of the tone, in terms of the persona, in terms of the feedback, in terms of the effectiveness of the feedback, the relevancy, the accuracy, and what would you do differently if you were to use this tool? Okay, so please use the chat tool, all right, and type your answer. What would you do differently if you were to design the same tool? And which aspects, what elements or aspects do you find interesting or effective or useful in the feedback which is generated by the tool? Okay, so what I would like us to do is to basically together to analyze the tool in terms of, let's say, the elements that we like, that we appreciate, that we find interesting, as well as some aspects that may need maybe some rethinking, okay, or maybe, okay. So the first feedback is positive. Wonderful. The first feedback is positive. Yes, that is correct. It encourages students to continue working on their improvement. That is correct. It is also in their native language, so it can be easily understood. It's very friendly. Yes. I like the way it greets Lucia. It is very polite. I love its focus to Spanish speakers. It seems friendly. That is an effective feedback because it provides the content. Wonderful. So most of you, I would say all of you, find the feedback to be effective, to be motivating, to be supportive. We find the tool to be friendly. A little bit about the use. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So basically what we did as part of this project, we developed feedback protocol for giving feedback to students, how the tool should give feedback to students. We developed this protocol, which I'm now going to share with you. So on your screen is the protocol that we've developed, right, for this project. The first step, any AI agents should have a tone and a persona, right? The tone and a persona. You need to tell the AI tool, right, how he or she is expected to behave, right? A behavior, a tone, a persona. Okay, so we designed a tool which is friendly, supportive, speaks Spanish, right? To help young adults or young teenagers, native Spanish speakers, improve their English. Okay, now we instructed the tool to correct their mistakes in Spanish, okay, to correct their mistakes and to guide them through the revision process, to focus on giving specific and actionable feedback, okay, and to show what to revise and how to revise. In other words, the tool shouldn't only, the tool should provide feedback, right? Very specific, clear, and actionable feedback as to what to revise and how to revise in Spanish. Okay, so this is the first step, tone and persona. So whenever you're going to, or if or when you're going to create your own AI agents, you should first define a persona and a tone. Next, the second step is the feedback protocol, right? Which is divided into 4 sub-steps, so 4 subsections. The first section is identifying issues, right? We instruct the tool that he or she needs to identify issues, grammar, vocabulary, spelling, okay, and should be specific about what needs to be revised. It needs to be very specific, okay, and focus on feedback that can be directly, that the students can directly act on. So this is the first step, identifying issues. The second step, explaining the mistakes in Spanish. This is the second step, explaining the mistakes in Spanish, using simple language. Okay, the third step is providing simple examples. You need to provide examples. Okay, you explain the mistakes in English, in Spanish, and then you provide an example and you encourage revision, right? We encourage revision. We should encourage the students to continue trying, to continue writing and rewriting the work to improve their work, to improve their writing. Okay, so these are the 4 steps. These are the 4 steps that we followed when we designed this AI agent, this AI bot. We are now conducting a research study in Colombia. We've partnered with Colombo Americana, which is the largest language institute in Colombia. We've got hundreds of students and hundreds of Colombian students that were divided into 2 groups. The first group, right, the experimental group, is given access to the tool. Students develop their writing, work on their writing using this tool. The other group, the second group, is the control group. They are using traditional teaching methods, books, right, to work on their writing. What we're using a pre-test, post-test research design. Both groups do or complete the writing assignments at the beginning of the project, a writing assignment at the end of the project, and then we compare the writing development and the writing between the 2 groups and within the groups. Okay, so we're now in the process of analyzing the data. We will be happy. We'll share with you the feedback or the results once we complete the statistical analysis. Okay, so now how do we put this into practice? How do we put all this into practice if you were to create your own bot? So I'm now going to use a tool called Chatbase. This is a tool called Chatbase, which has a free version. It has a free version and a paid version, free plan and a paid plan. I'm using the free plan for the purpose of this demonstration, for the purpose of this session. This is the free plan. So I'm creating a tool called Jorge. Our friend Jorge, who is a language tutor and a language teacher, who is here to help my students develop their writing. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, we need to go to sources. We need to go to sources, and this is where you share your files. This is where you share your files or documents with the AI tool. The AI tool needs training. You need to train the AI tool as to how to grade and evaluate students' assignments. Okay, so you upload your guidelines, guidelines or any relevant documents to this section. You upload the guidelines as to how to evaluate students' assignments, how to evaluate students' grammar. You can also upload, for example, chapters from a textbook, right, and instruct the chatbot, right, to use the feedback, right, or use feedback from the textbook. In other words, this is where you upload all the materials. This is where you upload the data or the training materials or the training data to train the AI tool as to how to evaluate the students' assignments. Okay, so you can use AI, you can use files. Alternatively, you can add links to external websites, right? You can add links to websites and instruct the tool, right, to basically use information from those websites to generate their answers. Okay, so in other words, you have 2 or 3 different options to choose from. The first option is files, which is more narrow, more, more narrow. This is where you're in control, you're in full control. The AI will extract information, will use information from those files that you've uploaded. However, there is another option, which is websites, right? You can add links to websites and instruct the tool to basically collect information from those websites. Finally, there is another option, which is more, let's say, structured, a list of frequently asked questions and answers. You can generate a list of frequently asked questions and answers, right, which include the question together with the answer. And then each time students type the question, right, the AI tool will generate an answer. Okay, so for example, if students, for example, need information about, differences between, let's say, the past simple and the past progressive, right? You can write here an answer about the differences between the past tense and the present tense. So then whenever the students need assistance, right, or clarification about when to use the past simple, the present progressive, or whatever, the AI tool will generate the answers, the responses, based on your data, based on the information that you use to train the tool. Okay, so this is the first step, which is resources or sources. The second step, which is extremely important, is defining the role of the tool, the role and the functions of the tool. You need to define the role and the function of the tool, persona, personality. Okay, this is very important. You need to define the role, the persona of the AI agent. Okay, so you're an agent who helps users. You give them feedback. You give them feedback in Spanish. Okay, you need to be very specific, as well as constraints. Constraints is the kind of things that you do not want the AI tool to do. Okay, for example, the AI tool should use exclusively the training data. AI tools sometimes have the tendency to make up things, right? Things which are not accurate, things which are not true, things which are fake. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was the New York Times or one of the newspapers in the U.S. They published their, recommended like a list of recommended books or reading for the summer. A list of 25 books. Okay, out of those 25 books, 18 or 17 of those were fake books that do not exist. Why? The list was generated by the AI, by an AI tool. In other words, AI tools have the tendency to, make up things. So you need to instruct the AI tool to use or to rely exclusively on the training data on your files. Okay, they must rely exclusively on the training data to answer questions. If the question is not covered in the training data, okay, then the AI tool should tell the student, should inform the student that he's unable to answer the question. In other words, transparency, being transparent is a key. So we should upload the training data and we should instruct the tool to rely exclusively on the training data. Okay, and we should instruct the tool to maintain focus, not to change the role, not to break off character, okay, and to be very focused. So this is one very important aspect, to define the role and to define the constraints. In addition, we need to customize the agent's personality, which could be reserved. Right now, the bot is reserved. Reserved means that he's using exclusively your training data, but it can also be creative. Creative, which means that he could maybe use additional sources, external sources which were not uploaded by you, the teacher or the trainer. Okay, so you've got a more reserved AI tool, all right, which is more, let's say, narrow. It would follow, or it would use only documents and training data that you uploaded to the site, or a more creative one, an AI tool that also has maybe a sense of humor, that is using some external sources. So you can create, different kinds of AI bots based on to reflect your needs, your students' needs, and your personality, right? And your personality and your teaching philosophy. Okay. Finally, right here, the chat interface. Yes, this is where you define and the chat interface. This is the first message that appears on the screen. Okay, you can also collect feedback. Okay, and you can also upload a picture, a profile picture for the chat bot. In other words, this is an example. This is a tool, a chat tool. Chatbase is a tool. One example of how you can create your own AI agent, right? In seconds. You go to sources, you upload your files, your training data, then you go to settings, you go to AI. Okay, this is when you basically you define and customize your agent's personality, and then you go to general to basically to chat interface to basically upload an image or a picture for your bot. Okay. All right. Okay. So in a sec, let me try and. Okay, so that was Jorge. Can everyone see my screen okay? Can everyone hear me okay? All right. Okay, so that was Jorge. So let's talk about key steps to designing your AI agent. When you design, if you're ever going to design your AI agent using one of those free plans or free tools, those 6 steps, the 6 steps listed on the screen must be considered, need to be considered carefully. The first step is defining the purpose. You need to define a clear purpose. What do you want the agent to do? Do you want the agent to correct their grammar, to correct their spelling, to help them practice and develop their pronunciation? Do you want the agent to provide feedback in Spanish, in English? Do you want the agent to use, let's say, advanced grammar structures, simple grammar structures, basic grammar structures? What about terminology? What about personality? You need to define the purpose, okay, as well as the target audience. You need to define target audience. Who will interact with the agent? Are these native Spanish speakers, kids, young adults? Are these university students? Are these teacher trainees? Are these pre-service teachers, in-service teachers? You need to define the target audience, okay? Next, number 3, you need to define or design your agent's role and responsibility, name, tone, and personality. Again, it could be reserved. It could be more, let's say, creative agent, reserved, narrow, or more creative. It can use, the agent can use only training data which you uploaded to the site, or it could be more creative and use use information or resources from the web. So it is up to you to decide how creative or how reserved the AI tool should be. Number 4 is probably the most important step, is writing a script, prompts and instructions. What will students ask the agent to do, and what should the agent say in return? The kind of interaction between the agent and the students, what the students ask the agent to do, and what should the agent say in return. Again, I want to, this is the example that we've created for our project in Colombia. 4 steps. First, you identify the problems, you explain the mistakes in Spanish, you provide simple examples, and you encourage revision. All right, these are the 4 steps that we followed in the project in Colombia. Okay. Now, number 5, you need to choose the tool and you need to test the tool. On your screen, I've listed 3 tools. I mean, there are many other tools, Poe, Character, Chatbase. Use any of those tools, other tools. And last but not least, protecting student data and privacy. You need to remind students not to share sensitive private details when chatting with bots, right? Do not share any sensitive private details, right? Do not share any sensitive information when chatting with bots, okay? And finally, some guidelines for creative, effective AI agents, okay? In terms of the tone should be supportive, right? We shouldn't be criticizing our students. The bot shouldn't be criticizing the students. The bot should be supporting them, showing support, showing empathy, all right? So if student is struggling, for example, then the bot should say something like, no worry, together, I'm here to help you, and together I'm sure we can, complete this task successfully, right? To show empathy. Now, the 4th point is very important, is an important one. The bot needs to adjust the responses based on interaction history. So if, let's say, I'm a student who is interacting with the bot twice a week or 3 times a week, then we should instruct the bot, right, to adjust the responses based on interaction history. What does it mean? If let's say today's Monday or today's Thursday, all right? Today's Thursday or Friday. Today's Friday, okay? And let's say today I'm interacting with the bot, and I tell the bot that today I had a really rough morning, okay? For whatever reason, I had a rough morning. And then tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to interact with the bot again. Then the bot should adjust the responses based on what I've shared with the bot this morning, that I had a rough morning. So the bot should basically reflect or refer to, interaction history and ask the student, all right, how was your morning? Are you doing better? Are you doing any better? Or if the student is struggling with, let's say, the past tenses, then the bot should basically adjust the responses based on, the history, right? So if the student is struggling with past tenses, then the bot should say, let's continue working on the past tenses. All right, I'm here to help you develop and work on your past tenses. Okay, so this should be like a continuation. This interaction with the bot should be a continuation of interactions. Okay, and finally, we should support multi-languages, right? We should instruct the bot to support multi-languages. In other words, not only English, but also Spanish and other languages, okay? To customize and personalize the interaction and the feedback. All right, in short, if you're going to create your AI agents, if you're going to design your own AI agent, follow these guidelines. Follow these guidelines, define the purpose, define target audience, define roles and responsibilities. You need to write a script, okay, with clear guidelines, and you need to choose and test the tool before using it. Okay, I'm now going to open the floor for questions, for comments. If you have any questions about those bots, about possible research collaborations, please let me know if you have any questions. So please, I'm now going to open the floor for questions. If there are any questions or comments or thoughts about those virtual humans, about bots, please feel free to unmute yourself or to type your questions in the chat tool. Any questions or comments, concerns about those bots?
Thank you, Dr. Danny. So we have some comments here in the chat.
Yes.
So Dr. Aleida Linares is asking if we can do this design of AI agent from any ChatGPT application, it says.
Yeah, I mean, you can use, there are many tools, many AI tools that can be used to create or to use the, to create those chat tools. On your screen, if you look at point number 5, I've listed 5 such tools: Poe, Character AI, Chatbase. You can also use ChatGPT or OpenAI tools to create those bots. Okay. It is important to choose the tool and to test the tools, right? I mean, different companies or different, AI providers use different, let's say, models, right, for their bots. So it is important to evaluate the tools, right, to test the tools before, integrating those tools into your courses. Okay. Especially the Spanish, right? If you're going to use a Spanish-speaking bot, right, you should definitely, test the tool, evaluate the Spanish, the quality of the Spanish, the accuracy of the Spanish, right, before, you integrate the tool into your courses.
We have some other comments here, and it says, Dr. Gloria Ulloa says, I like the way we need to train the tool to have a nice tone. As we all want to know the affective filter of our students, the tool also needs to show the kind side of a teacher. Love it, it says.
Yes, great comment, great comment. Yes, absolutely. I mean, when designing an AI bot, when designing an AI tool, this is just, I mean, I have a podcast. My podcast is it's called Dancing with the Machine, right? This is the name of my podcast, Dancing with the Machine, where I where I host, where I sit and interview, some industry experts and some research scientists about the future of technology, future of education. And I really like the term dancing with the machine. This is like, tango, right? You're dancing tango with a robot. You're dancing, tango with a machine, right? So you design the tool and you keep, monitoring the tool, and you keep making adjustments to the tool, and you keep, making some fine tuning to the tool. All right. In other words, once you design the tool, this is just, the first step. You should see this as a journey. It's a journey. It's not like a one-off, or it's not like, designing the tool and then you need to constantly revisit the tool to receive feedback, to collect feedback from your students, all right, to see what they think about the tool. It's like a dance, right? You're dancing with the machine, you're dancing with the technology, and you should make adjustments and fine-tuning to your to the protocol, right? To the script, to the protocol, to the instructions, according to feedback that you receive from your students, and according to feedback that you receive from the machine, from the tool. The tool also shares feedback, right? So you should use this feedback from your students, from the tool, in order to make adjustments, in order to make some fine-tuning for the tool to better reflect your needs and your students' needs. Okay, so it's a dance. You're dancing with the tool, you're making adjustments. Okay, you're learning to, it's like a relationship. You're in a relationship with this technology. Okay, so you need to learn, right? You will probably need to make some fine-tuning, adjustments, and tweaking to the tool, right? In order for the tool to basically reflect your needs and your students' needs.
Thank you. Some comments here, and it says that the idea of using the mother tongue or multiple languages can also help the students to feel supported and understood. And teachers are asking where they can find your podcast.
Oh, it's on Spotify. It's on Spotify. I will send you the link. I'll send you a link to my podcast. It's on Spotify. And we're also, I'm involved in a number of research projects with universities and higher ed institutions in Latin America, collaborating with a number of institutions where we're, evaluating the effect, the impact of AI tools, AI technologies on student learning. For example, using music-based apps, right? The music-based apps for learning language or language development, or using writing tutors to help students develop their writing. So if you're interested in piloting or in using any of those tools, we can definitely, discuss some research collaborations, some possible research collaborations. I'm happy to discuss this with your team, with Gloria. Some possible research collaborations using AI tools, and to examine the effect of those tools on students' learning outcomes.
Thank you, Dr. Danny. So teachers are fascinated actually with your project. So
Wonderful.
Thank you for sharing your expertise.
Thank you very much.
And forward-thinking perspectives on AI and digital learning. Your contributions, I think, are truly helping shape the future of education. And we hope for the rest of you that this session spark new ideas and reinforce the importance of designing meaningful tech-integrated learning experiences. To everyone who joined us today, thank you for your attention and engagement. We hope this session leaves you with a valuable takeaways and new inspirations to explore the powerful role of technology in learning. As we close, I would like to warmly invite Dr. Danny Glick and all of you, of course, in the closing ceremony. So stay here, and it will be a special moment to celebrate the insights and achievements shared throughout this event. And thank you to the speaker, participants, and organizers who made it possible. We hope to see you right soon, and thank you again.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here with you again. I am extremely happy for one more day that we have learning about different topics. However, now it's time to move on to our closing ceremony. And as we approach the conclusion of Bringing Language to Life, an online forum for engaging teaching, we take this moment to reflect on the valuable journey we have shared these 2 days. During this time, we have explored diverse perspectives from integrating cultural knowledge in the language classroom to innovations with artificial intelligence and digital agents. And we sincerely thank every speaker, moderator, and participants who contributed to making this forum a space for reflection, dialogue, and professional growth. To formally close our event, we are pleased to hear from two key figures who represent our academic community. And first, we will listen to Dr. Gloria Ulloa, member of the organizing committee of this forum. Her dedication and vision have been vital for the success of this event. So Dr. Ulloa, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Bringing Language to Life Forum has come to the end. As everything that is good, we always have to have an end to it. Well, dear colleagues, friends, and distinguished guests, as we come to the close of Bringing Language to Life, an online forum for engaging teaching, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who joined us from across the globe. Thank you to our participants from Chile, Colombia, Mexico, India, the United States, Honduras, our co-partners in Latin America, and the International Network of Language Programs and Centers. Your time, commitment, and active participation over these past 2 days have truly enriched this experience. We're deeply thankful to the specialists who so generously share their knowledge, insights, and experience with us. Your assertive and thoughtful contributions helped spark critical dialogue on topics ranging from teaching methodologies and linguistics diversity to comprehension, technology, and the future of English. A special thank you to our outstanding speakers, Dr. Deborah Suarez, Dr. Aleida Linares, Dr. Don Wink, Dr. Danny Glick, and Ms. Grazia Mendoza. You not only gave us your time, but you gave us your wisdom, your expertise, and your passion. For that, we're truly, truly grateful. To our organizing committee and collaborators, thank you for your tireless efforts behind the scenes. Your dedication made this forum a success. And of course, a big round of applause to David Raudales, who once again did a remarkable job managing the technological part of this forum with his usual professionalism and commitment. David Raudales is not a member of our teacher staff, but he is somebody who's always willing to volunteer during our events. His work has been just amazing. Before we officially close, we're delighted to invite you to join us at our upcoming International Conference for Teachers of English. You will all receive a formal invitation in the coming days to present, and we sincerely hope you will consider accepting our invitation to continue these important conversations. We're honored to have had you with us during these 2 days of meaningful exchange and inspiration. Thank you for being part of this great community. Wishing you all continued success in your work, and we hope to see you again very soon. And thank you so very, very much. And as for now, we would say goodbye, but we really hope to see you in March for our conference.
Thank you so much for your words, Dr. Ulloa. Now I will share a special message from Mr. Tomás Monge, President of the International Conference for Teachers of English, to be held next year. Please join us in watching this video message from Mr. Monge.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Tomás Monge, and I am the president of the organizing committee of our department's 14th International Conference for Teachers of English. I am deeply grateful to my fellow colleagues for their support and attendance to this forum, Bringing Language to Life, an online forum for engaging teaching. I am certain that this has been an incredible journey with updated and meaningful insights on some of the aspects that make our English teaching more engaging, like real-world materials, the role of social media and national languages, AI and digital humans, cultural connections, and the future of language teaching. Moreover, I hope that just like some great movies tend to tease their upcoming sequel on post-credit scenes, this can be a great opportunity for me to extend a warm invitation to all of you to attend our 14th International Conference, Empowering Language Teachers to Respond to Student Needs, which will take place at UPNFM's main campus in Tegucigalpa from March 5th through the 7th in 2026. Therefore, due to the venue's limited seating capacity, it is my personal recommendation as president that you follow us both on Instagram and Facebook so you can be the first to learn about our registration process and the first to confirm your seat at this unrepeatable opportunity, not only to keep enriching your professional skills, but also to connect with our international and national speakers and with teachers from all corners of our country. We are already looking forward to sharing this unforgettable experience with you. See you there.
Just as our president said, this forum was just a glimpse of the presenters and sessions that you can expect at our conference. So on behalf of the organizing team, thank you all for your participation. We hope the discussions from this forum inspire you to continue innovating, collaborating, and bringing language to life in your classroom and communities. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you at our conference next year. Have a good day.
See you next year, Shorty.